Hi everybody, Elizabeth again with Bridget's Well. Hope you're doing well today. I'm actually in the process of uploading a haul video, and so since I can't really do much on the internet right now, thought I'd go ahead and make another video, and then hopefully we'll get it uploaded this weekend. Excuse me, eye allergies. I was trying to make this space look a little bit more mystical and cool. And I put my little green man tapestry over the light, but it just looks kind of weird. So my eventual plans are to try to get something back there so it looks a little more witchy in here. But a lot of my stuff is like over there on my altar. Um, and we're also like trying to get ready to get the house on the market so we can move. So there's a lot of stuff we're just kind of packing away and putting away. Because when we try to sell the house, we're probably not going to have very many witchy things out just because people probably wouldn't want to see those. They probably wouldn't look too kindly on that. But anyway, I do have a little bit of incense burning over here, which you cannot see it. It's Nag Champa and it smells divine. But this is my little, where did I get this? I think I got this actually. My husband's family is from Kentucky, and we were visiting them and stopped at this little metaphysical store in Bowling Green. I think it's called Green Earth, maybe. And I got this little incense burner. You can see the incense. You can kind of see it. The incense comes out the top, and there's a little hole in the back for, the air to get through. And on the front is like a little sea dragon. Isn't he cute? I really liked him. I liked his little, all his colors, so. And it says, let's see, believe in magic, save the dragons, and sea serpents, where earth live something. And then something in our dreams. Something fits in our dreams. Anyway, I like the picture. I thought it was cute. Excuse me. I'm still kind of dealing with this weird cold sinusy thing. I don't technically have allergies. I've been tested for them last year, and I'm not allergic to anything. But I still get like and I guess it's partially probably maybe I'm allergic to something I eat sort of. Even though I haven't been eating as much like stuff that people might consider kind of allergens or sensitive foods lately, but who knows. Anyway, so I thought I would do the next couple entries for the 2017 YouTube Pagan Challenge. I also realized I need to probably put on something besides a hoodie, because y'all probably think I just walk around in hoodies, which is actually kind of true in the winter because our house stays kind of cold. But I was just kind of doing this on the fly really quickly. So the next two questions for the 2017 challenge are, do you have any magical talents, psychic techniques which you consider your specialty? And then, what kind of divination techniques do you prefer, and do you record your divination results in your grimoire? So I think these kind of go together a little bit. I do have both. So I don't know if I know I've mentioned it before in a couple videos maybe. Just trying to look at this exactly. One of my talents is channeling, and I didn't actually, it's not like it's something I've done forever. Like, some people, I've been psychic since I was 12, and I used to hear things and see things, and I may have done that. I think there's a part of me that blocked it out because my grandmother was very strict, and among other people in my family, and of course in society. So I can remember I've had dreams when I was a child that came true. However, and of course I've mentioned it before, my affinity with animals, and the connection that I have with them speaking of, there's one over there by the door that wants to get in, has always been something that I would consider a gift. But I didn't discover that I could channel until, knowingly at least, until 2011. I had done a lot of work in the medicine wheel. I was working with a teacher at that time who was teaching Native American practices, was part of what she taught. And I did a lot of work in the meditation wheel, in the medicine wheel, just getting in there regularly, sometimes every day, and just sitting and letting whatever whatever would come through. And I took my journal in there with me one day, and I started what I call channeled writing. Now, I don't technically call it automatic writing because I am conscious of what's coming through, but it sure as heck didn't come from me. So, I started out doing that, and I actually started doing readings for people. And it's kind of funny because, maybe it's not funny, but the first time I ever did them for money or for pay was at a small show here in the Middle Tennessee area, and ended up meeting the person who had introduced me to my husband. Also met at that show people who would become a very big part of my life now. And it took a few years for me to get to know them better and become more of the part of that community in the area. But there are people that I met that day, well, it was 2 days actually, those days, they're now a very big part of my life, and or led me to meeting people who are an extremely big part of my life, like my husband. Obviously, he's in my life all the time. Obviously, we're married. So that is one of my specialties, is channeling, and it has kind of morphed now to me being more confident. I can still do it with the writing, and that's comfortable for me. But it has morphed from me needing that tool, and there's nothing wrong with tools at all, because there's other tools that I use for my intuitive readings. And I was watching another video, and somebody's like, well, I'm psychic, not intuitive. I call it psychic. Well, and maybe that's where I come from, and just this area. I prefer intuitive reader, because for me, it's not just getting details about what's coming or what's happening. I will often pick up on emotions and other things, and I'm not saying that psychics don't do that, but for me, I would consider what I do to be intuitive reading as opposed to psychic reading. But I mean, technically, really, they're the same, I think, really. But when I call myself a reader, I say intuitive reader. So, I discovered, there's a cat wants it. I discovered a few years after I started channeling with the writing that I in fact was channeling the goddess Bridget. And I've actually done that in public as well, but not as much. It's for me, it does kind of tire me out a bit, and it's something that I'm still getting used to, because I just discovered that I could do that about a year ago, after I realized she was my goddess and that she was the one I was channeling, which I think one day I will make a video about this whole process of me and coming to Bridget and the channeling of her. However, this is really not that video, because that's probably a long video and it's an emotional subject for me. So yes, I'm a channel. I have, as I've worked more with my gift of channeling, I've opened up. I think I've always been clairsentient. Is that the feeling one? Like I can feel things. And there's one that's a clair where you just know things. I can't remember what the name of it is. And I've always been that as well. And I am now, since I've worked with my gifts, clairaudient as well. And clairvoyant. I can see things too. So it's been interesting as I've kind of grown in my abilities, and I think they were always there. It's just that I hid them, and now they've come out more as I've gotten more confident in myself and in my power and in my own strengths. So another thing, hold on, let me look at this list again. And I guess this goes along with the divination as well. I also do oracle card readings, which I'm kind of thinking I might do some. I'm going to try to maybe do a weekly one for this channel. I haven't gotten there yet because that's a commitment that I haven't quite stepped into, and I'll have to figure out some sort of like schedule for that, so I make sure I do them in a timely manner. So I do oracle card readings as well. And some people don't know what oracle cards are, and they're similar to tarot cards, but a lot of times they don't. Tarot cards are kind of a journey. They've got a lot of symbolism, a lot of numerology, and they're very complex. And I've tried to learn the tarot, but I've never really gotten the passion for it, because a lot of people who do read tarot are very passionate about it, and it's great. And I like getting tarot readings, but for me, as far as reading tarot, is a no-go pretty much. But I do oracle cards, and I actually have a deck right here. And this is the very first deck that I ever got. I think it was given to me by somebody, maybe. It's the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards. And so oracle cards are a little different than tarot. They do have pictures on them, but usually they'll have words or sayings. This one says start delegating, green Terra, start delegating, and it'll have a little phrase down here. And to me, these are easy to use. They can kind of go, oh, that's what it is. Sometimes I don't even need them when I do readings. It just kind of depends on the situation. I've definitely gotten more comfortable going on what I hear and what I get, as opposed to having to stick to these cards. Now, there are some that I have that might just have a word or a phrase. These are Doreen Virtue, and I love her cards. A lot of them do have a lot of words on them. Excuse me. So, for instance, like, I don't know if you can see that. It says, bright future, and then there's like a little phrase at the bottom. But anyway, so I do work with oracle cards. Some other forms of divination I've tried, but really haven't had much success with. And it could be just me not connecting with it, or maybe not practicing as much as I should. Runes, I've tried, not really connected to runes. Pendulums, not my thing. I have one pendulum that works for me, and I'll go into stores and I'll try them, and they hardly ever work for me. And I found one at a metaphysical store in Knoxville, and I don't remember the name of it. But it's a chevron amethyst pendulum, and it's the only one that will ever work for me. But I really don't practice with it enough to use it for divination. Actually, I think it's kind of pretty. But I also don't need it. I've got other things that I can use that I'm more skilled at. It's funny because my husband tells me that one of my magic gifts is that I am the finder of lost things. So I'm very good at finding things that are misplaced in the house. And I'm not sure if that's actually really a magical or psychic ability, but I've always had kind of a visual memory. And so I can actually literally see where they are. So I don't know if that is, or get a sense of where they are. So I don't know if that's a actual psychic gift, or it's just that I have that visual memory. My grandfather had it too, so it could just be something passed down through the family. Let me look at this list one more time real quick, make sure I don't miss anything. Magical talents that I consider my specialty, if there's any others. No. Not that I can think of right off the top of my head. I'm pretty good at manifesting. And sometimes it backfires. So, and especially the past year, or even just the past few months, I will think something and it will happen. Or I will think that I don't want to do something or don't want to be somewhere, and then it'll get canceled because somebody got sick or something like that. So, yes, I can manifest. I just need to learn how to flip it. And so I've been much more careful of my thoughts and what I say. And when I have thoughts that come through like that, I cancel clear them 3 times because I don't want to manifest those types of things. And you know, just a couple weeks ago, we were going to go somewhere, and there was somebody that was supposed to come to the event, and I really am not fond of. I was like, God, I really hope this person isn't there. And then that person messaged to say, oh, I'm sick. So it was like, well, crap. So did I manifest that, or was it just the person got sick? I don't know, but it's been happening a lot. So I've been trying to be very careful with that, especially since I'm kind of a hermit introvert, and I have been very hermity the past 2 months or so. I just have not wanted to interact socially a whole lot, and I feel like I'm coming out of that now, and it's probably just part of winter. But anyway, so yeah, I'm pretty good at manifesting things. I just have to flip it a little bit and be more intentional. My husband keeps saying, when are you going to manifest the lottery? It's like, well, we'll see. Do I record my divination results in a grimoire? No, I don't. Sometimes I'll write them down in my journal or take pictures of it. And then like a month later, I'll delete them because I don't know what the hell they were for. But yeah, sometimes I'll write it down. It just kind of depends, but I don't record them in my grimoire. I don't even have a grimoire. But the funny thing is, I made the video a couple weeks ago, or maybe a week. I don't even know how time flies so quickly as you get older. It's so true. A week or 2 ago, I made the video about the notebooks and journals and books of shadows, and I was like, well, I don't have one. It's funny because a friend of mine gave me a belated birthday present, and it's a small, I would say maybe 5x7-ish little leather bound journal with I love Day of the Dead stuff, and I like skulls and like crystal skulls and that sort of thing. It had a Day of the Dead skull on it, and it's really pretty. And I was like, well, that would be a perfect book of shadows. So I think maybe I'm gonna make a book of shadows now. And because I'm actually going to be doing some workings tonight for something very, very specific that's happened recently this week with us. And maybe I'll go into that a little later, but when I do spell work of this kind, which is not often, I kind of like to keep it quiet for a little bit and then maybe talk about it. But it's something personal to me that I'm going to be doing some workings for tonight. And I'm thinking I'm going to write those down in my book of shadows. So I guess technically I do have a book of shadows now, but I'm not going to be writing down any divination in it at this point, but maybe later. Grimoire / book of shadows. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my abilities and my preferred divination techniques, I think. Now, I don't know if you would consider it a divination technique, but I do look for messages. So if I see something over and over again, like an animal or a symbol or a number, I will look that up. And I don't know if that's necessarily divination, but I think that's kind of a way of getting messages or oracles, I guess, in a way. So that's another part of me or my practice that I do is I'm very, very aware of symbolism and aware of numbers. And I'm not an expert by any means of numerology or astrology or even animal symbolism, but I do know enough to be dangerous, I guess. And granted, living out here, I do see a lot of animals because we do live in a rural area. But if I start seeing them in unusual ways, then I definitely will look. Or if I'm seeing them in multiples, you know, like if I see three crows together, okay, well that's a message of, you know, whatever. And it could be Bridget, it could be, usually when we, a lot of times my husband, you know, my husband works with Odin, and a lot of times as we're leaving the house or leaving our street, we'll see two crows will fly in front of us. So to me, that's a message from Odin, just kind of like a, hey, I'm here, or, you know, you're protected, that sort of thing. So like, we don't, if I were to see deer, it's kind of strange, I guess, because we are in a rural area. They aren't as prevalent because I think they have more places to hide than they do out closer to town. So if I see deer, and if I see them deer, 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 like in three different places or four different places, I'll definitely think, someone's trying to tell me to be more gentle with myself and more loving, or something like that, or how, you know, think about what's going on in my life. So yeah, I guess it's kind of a way of divination or oracle or getting messages. So that's another thing that I also use and that I'm very aware of. So but I think that's really it for methods of divination and psychic abilities as far as I know. Hopefully, I'm going to try to do one more video because I'm still planning on doing the 2016 challenge as well. And if I do one more video about those, a couple of those, then I will be caught up, which will be great. And my cat is wanting in. That's my familiar. That's Finn. And his favorite place is to be right here. And that's not always possible. So, but anyway, I wish you all a wonderful day. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. It's the full moon tonight. It's February the 10th. So we're having a full moon and an eclipse. And a comet, I think, which is crazy. So it's kind of a powerful time right now. And I wish you all many blessings and a wonderful weekend. Thank you.